Hey guys and gals, what's up? What is up? Thought I'd give you a little update on what's going on with my bee cart here. We did a couple little upgrades. What have I got here? What have I got? Oh, look at here. I got a digital scale. Isn't that pretty? Milliliter. I don't want that. What else we got? There it is, gram. That's what I want, because we're going to weigh out 500 grams of oxalic acid and 500 grams of vegetable glycerin, and we're going to make us some towels. Get them, what is it, Swedish towels? They've got a wood fiber in them that absorbs a lot, so kind of pricey, but it is what it is. I mean, everything's getting pricey. It's just never ending. It's never ending in my world. All right, what's going on with my cart here? I did a couple upgrades. See this heavy-duty eyelet? I've decided about 4 boxes is all I want to put on this thing. That'll bring it to about here, 4 boxes, mediums. Granted, I'll be hauling some 8s occasionally, because I got some 8s. We'll keep them in production, the 8s. But we're going to be getting versatile here, and I'm wanting to go with all mediums. And what's a medium? This is a medium. All right. What do we got over here? Got this little 2-framer box here. All right. What do we got here? What's old Steve-O got here? He's got some crazy stuff going on here. Some horizontal bamboo sticks. These things act, oh, I don't like that. Look at that. There's an 1.25 inch staple. 18 gauge was shot in here and came out here. There's a finger grabber I got to get rid of. But there's your difference in them, okay? And there's quite a bit of extreme weight difference. So what I will do here, I've got a bunch of these deeps, a bunch of them. Nobody seems to want to buy them. I don't really give a rat's ass if they want to buy them or not, okay? We're going to utilize them. They're going to be converted to meads. Now, a lot of these deep boxes are going to get modified also, because they don't seem to want to go bye-bye either, which is fine. I keep hearing these stories. Oh, Steve, well, if you still got them boxes, yeah. Okay, well, I'm coming to get them. Well, then they talk to their wife, or something, or their banker, or whatever, and they said, no, you're not either. You're already in debt to your frickin' eyeballs, okay? You're not getting nothing more. So that's how I understand it. I get it, okay? I get it. I have a wife too, guys. I know how it works, okay? And if Miss Daisy ain't happy, they ain't nobody happy. Trust me on that one. So anyway, what I will do with these deeps, I'm going to set up my table saw right here, put my fence here. This is 6 1/4 from here to here. I'm going to blow that puppy right through, these deeps through on back. Keeping in mind, do I have hardware in here? A lot of these factory came with holes, and I did run some wire on them. The wire works great. It's just a pain in the ass. It really is. This bamboo thing is a pain in the ass too. I mean, the best way to go is plasticell. You pop it in and go. And everybody's saying, well, Steve, you go cutting this thing off. Now you lost your bottom bar, right? And that's got the groove in it for your plasticell. Well, how about calming the hell down, okay? Just calm down. You're getting a little bit wild and crazy in Steve-O's world. Here's what happens. When I cut that thing off at 6 1/4 from the top down, right? I've got a piece of wood here and this bottom, right? So all I do, I go over to the vise and I clamp this in my vise right there, and I take my little lippy Japanese saw. Now be careful with these Japanese, saws, these little whippy saws, because after a while, guys, look here, what'll happen. your eyes will start getting slanty. Yeah, your eyes will get slanty, and who knows what'll happen from there. So anyway, what you're going to do is cut it off at 6 1/4. Then this piece will fall away. Then you put this piece in your vise. Take your little whippy Chinaman saw and cut it off right there. Boom. Cut her off. The nails are going that way into the end bar, right? So you shouldn't be conflicting with that at all unless you get a wild and crazy one. This is a factory frame right here, by the way. And they shot 2 staples in it. Man Lake did that in this end bar here. They only shot 1 at that end. Huh. I don't know, they got a little crazy here. 1 would be God's plenty. And they glue it too. They glue them too, which is great. They make a good frame. I mean, you know, they make a decent frame. Okay, so once I cut that off right there, zip, now I can move this end bar, right? There's nothing attaching it. The metal is in here. We don't care. We move it up. We move this up, slide it up to the bottom of that cut, which is 1 1/4, 6 1/4 down from this top down here. Boom. You slide this up to the very bottom of where you cut it, because you're putting this through the table saw right there. Your table. You're running this through on the fence side here. You're cutting at 6 1/4. Well, you run that up to it's even with the bottom. I usually do it in the vise. That way you can control it a little bit, you know. And then I shoot it straight in on the side here, right into this timber with 1 1/4. Locks it up beautiful, guys. Locks it up beautiful. Now you've created a medium frame out of a deep. Okay, simple to do. Yeah. And you're repurposing stuff that you're phasing. And once you get my age, guys, let's face it, you just ain't gonna hump the heavy loads like you did when you were 18. Seemed like when I was 18, guys, I could never run out of gas. I don't know. I was behind coon hounds and bear hounds running through Michigan.
Michigan is a peninsular state in the Great Lakes region of the upper Midwestern United States.
Oh, no kidding, Siri. Siri, stop talking. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Siri. Yeah, Siri was letting me know that where UP, Michigan was in the upper part of Michigan. Thank you, Siri. Oh boy, I got people talking to me from the clouds, guys. Anyway, back to this. So anyway, yeah, what I did, I'm going to put 4 boxes on here. I think those will run about 45 pounds a piece. You slap them full of honey. And it'll come up to about here on my cart. And so I got a ratchet strap, one of those orange ratchet straps from Harbor Freight. It goes right over. You ratchet that thing down. I was playing with it yesterday. That dude is locked down, son. It is locked down. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going to fall off this cart. I don't even think if you tipped it forward, it'd fall. I mean, that ratchet strap's got her sucked down tight. So that is yesterday little deal we did. And my son came over, and this is about the 6th or 7th design on this thumb throttle. Okay, see this thumb throttle? He made one that came down and had a screw through here where this plastic pieces were pinching up on this pipe right here. It's like a 1-inch pipe, okay? So what he did, cleverly, he redesigned this piece. And actually, he designed another piece that came in here, the 1-inch, so he could test fit this piece with this hose clamp. And he designed it, guys, so this hose clamp went through up and over, as you can see, in a slot. How he created that, I don't have a clue. But that kid's like a genius when it comes to designing. Well, he's a computer engineer, so apparently he wasn't sleeping in school, okay? This kid can design stuff. It's unbelievable. We're very proud of him. My son, he is a flipping genius as far as I'm concerned. And did he get all that smarts from me? Oh no. That's Miss Daisy's smarts, because they gave me a high school diploma and said, you are a total disaster. Please leave. Here's your diploma. I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to get... My old man told me that he's going to take me out of the food chain if I don't get that high school diploma. And they said, no problem. You're such a pain in the ass here. Such a clown show. Here's your diploma. Just please leave. Leave, please. So I said, okay, thank you. I get to live another day. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, that's what he designed. And that's the thumb throttle for this whole cart. But we had an issue. We had an issue with this old design because it came down, 2 legs came down here out of this, and it had a slot where you could pinch it onto this pipe. Well, it was plastic on steel, and it would rotate. This thing is solid now, guys. I mean, solid as a freaking rock, for the simple fact, he designed it where you can put a hose clamp through here, and you take a nut driver, put it on here, tighten it up, and really you're biting onto the steel. You're not really torquing the hell out of this plastic to snap anything. So that was a very clever design that he did. And we had a little issue with the reach here, see, on the throttle. But it's not that big a deal, because you're tilting back anyway. When you start moving this cart, you tilt back. And what I do is I put the cart forward to get my wheel speed. I can just come up here with one finger and do this, and I put the power on, boom, power on, and I push it forward. There it goes. That thing is boogieing now, I'm telling you. Almost got away from me. Yeah, it will get away from you. Now, what you want to do here is tune it down, push it forward. It's kind of hard for me to do all this while I'm sitting here, but you put it down, you hold it down, and then you slowly turn this knob. Look at my wheels turning down there, guys. That speed right there, guys, is just about my walking speed. We've been running this thing all over the place, guys. And it's, right now, it's running 52.1 volts. It's a 48 volt system. But obviously this battery got charged up over the top, and so now it's running 52.1 volts. And look at here, it's on 100%. 100%. It's dropped 2 bars, but it's still showing 100% charge. So we power off, boom. The display goes away. It goes to sleep right there. And so with 4 boxes, I'm thinking about 180 pounds on this thing. I'm sure it'll go way more than that, but you know, way up here, if you get the boxes way up here, it's going to get squirrely. So keep it. I'm going to keep it just 4 boxes. That's plenty. That's 180 pounds worth of honey, more or less, you know. And so, yeah, that's going to be God's plan. Here's the charging port on that thing. Very small deal. This cart is working out absolutely Cool, very cool. It's working out perfect. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better deal. It's something I had in my head, but it really, and I can pretty much, I'm pretty much good with mechanical things. So the mechanics of this thing I had in my mind, my little pea brain had in my mind what I wanted to do. And so I brought that to my genius, which is my son, computer engineer. And he said, Dad, what you're thinking is totally doable. I said, that's what I wanted to hear. I said, you are being a team player. I like the way you think. He said, let me get into this. Let me start getting into the parts. I think I know where you're going with all this. I explained it to him what I want to do. I wanted a live shaft in here. I wanted a bigger sprocket on the bottom, the smaller on the motor. See, I built these things before. There's something like this. I built Kelly hive bee booms that go on the truck. This motor actually would be ideal for that because it's got forward reverse on that motor. Forward reverse on it. And you can preset the speed, and it would be absolutely fantastic. What I did was took a 2-inch to make a Kelly boom, and you can do it too. Get you some 2-inch box at your steel place. And for me, it was a 10-foot boom. And if you're taking a 1-ton truck, say a 1-ton dually, see if that's, you're starting out in the bee business, and you're a sideliner, and you're going to work your way up to, a couple, 300 boxes, you can get away with a 1 ton. But after that, it gets crazy. You're going to have a 20-foot bed, and it just goes on and on and on, guys. But for a small operation, to get started before your wife kills you or divorces you, start small and grow into it. And a 1 ton would work. Dually truck. You can put a Tommy lift on the back. Tommy lifts are cool. It's a small tailgate lift. You can put your boxes on, lift it up to where it's even with a bed. You can pick it up and move them. For transporting bees, you can make a Kelly boom like I did. I made a couple of them back in the day, and what I did was have a piece of 3-inch piping. I came across right back of the cab with a 4-inch channel, and I welded it on each side of the frame, truck frame. This thing was built right into the truck. I mean, you need a cutting torch to get this stuff peeled out of there. And what I did is came up with a pipe about a foot or so, probably 18-inch pipe. And then I had another pipe to slide into that pipe. So that thing I welded up vertically was a socket. So you just went around, I found matched up piping at the steel place, measuring it, and said, okay, what slides into this pipe? So I found the combo. So that pipe that I slid inside, I used as a mast, and I came up. I would do it differently now. It was a solid mast, so I was fixed. So if I'm going through the woods and there's tree limbs and stuff, I had to be careful I wouldn't hit them limbs because I had a fixed mast coming up. And it seems to me like it was about back in the day, it was at least 3 foot higher than the cab on my truck. If I did it today, of course, hindsight's 20/20, right? You think, well, I did it this way before, but I'm going to do it differently this time. If I ever did it again, I would make it so I could jack that up. I'd put a cylinder in there, hydraulic cylinder, that could lift that boom up. But what I did is took 2-inch box for the boom on this thing, and I came up with a platform up top of this vertical pipe up here to where I can mount my stuff. But I had a motor. I had a motor which was like a 12-volt motor with forward reverse on it, and I coupled it together with a 30-to-1 gear reduction box and the gear reduction box was 90 degrees opposing shafts. One coming in, power going out. The power going out was to another shaft over to a carrier. I made a carrier. I welded a barn door. You know the sliding barn door tracks? That's what I used to weld to my 2-inch box. So that was my whole boom. You had a boom, and then I matched it up with 10 feet of barn door track. And then I came up with your barn door tracks have got 2 rods coming down, all threads, whatever, hooking to a channel in your barn door so you can drag it back and forth, So that was the concept. It was a very simple system. And the little carry sled that was up in there in that track, the cable, I used 1/8 cable, it came off of that gear, 30-to-1 gearbox. I came over from that to a small reel. I came up with a small reel that I welded up. It was simple stuff. It was like 3/4 cold roll steel, and I made a little spool to handle the cable. Well, that cable came off of there, went over to this little sled that I created in that barn door truck. Instead of a barn door we're moving back and forth, we're moving this little sled. That little sled had 2 groove pulleys in it, and they were spaced about 6 inches apart. So the cable came off the 30-to-1 box, came over top on your sled, through the top of that pulley down to another pulley, and that pulley down here had a hook on it that was hooked to my little set of forks. I had the forks set to where I could slide it right under a box. My boxes all had about a 3/4 cleat, and I set it. The forks on this thing were like 1 inch wide. As I recall, 1 inch wide by 1/2 inch thick. They were beefy. You're not going to bend it, right? You're not going to bend it picking up a hive. And actually, I could stack 2 hives, grab one off the pallet. Back in the day when I was running that boom, I'd just go get free pallets, and I would boil those pallets in diesel fuel and roof tar. And there's no bugs going to eat that thing after that. I mean, it preserves them. And what's really cool about it, it makes them, when you pull them out of that diesel fuel and tar liquid, I heated it too. Had a small fire underneath that pot. I was cooking up literally a bomb there with all that stuff going on, but I kept my fire low. I used a wood fire under there wasn't propane or nothing. I used wood fire. I was actually using cut up pallets as my firewood. Yeah, I'd throw a little fuel underneath that thing, get that wood started, and I would just maintain a low fire and heat that liquid up really hot. But I had a big piece of plywood. The tank that I had welded, custom tank, it was made out of real thin stuff. I think it was like 1/16 inch thick steel. It wasn't much. It was a heavy box, so I made it 4 foot square, 1 foot high, and I jacked that up on concrete blocks, and I could lower those pallets in. I made some custom-made pallets because I was running clip pallets, and I could lower that in. I had a little homemade crane, hand crank crane, like a boat winch, and I could lift those pallets up over and lower it into that soup of diesel fuel and asphalt road primer, or roof tar worked good too, and lowered it in and just let it boil in there. I don't know, 15 minutes or so, not much. It wasn't boiling, it was just hot, really hot, and it just sucked into that wood. It just went right into that wood, and then I crank them out, and I had it on a pivot. I can move it over, set it on some concrete blocks over here, let it down, grab me another pallet over here, pick up, swing over, lower into the tank while it was cooking. And anyway, that's the way I ran with that. And I would just, when I had my boom, I'd just stack a bunch of pallets on my truck. When I go to a bee location, I'd just throw them out to where I could drive down through the pallets, see? And I could place bees on either side of my truck. It was a flatbed truck. It was a 1/2 ton truck, but I put a 1 ton rear end and springs under that thing. Leaf springs are all from a 1-ton truck that I salvaged and put on that half ton truck. It was a 6-cylinder in that thing. I forget the horsepower on that thing, but it was an automatic transmission with a 6-cylinder. When I loaded that thing up with 6 drums of honey, that's all I dared carry. That truck was kind of squat, and it was like floating. The front end was kind of floating, and I'd go from downtown Dunedin all the way to Umatilla, Florida, and unload that honey up there to a packing house. But she had a kind of a floating front end on that thing. I don't know. My nuts were bigger back in the day. My nuts have shrunk down a little bit since those days, you know. But anyway, a little storytelling. Steve would like to tell little stories as we're learning here. You know, we're on a learning curve with beekeeping, right? Every day is a learning curve. I've been doing this for 62 years, and every day I wake up, it's like we got to relearn this whole thing, you know. This whole thing with these sponges, these Swedish sponge things. My battery's running out. Let me change batteries. There we go. We got a freshie in the hole. I don't know who brought these pests in, because we didn't deal with none of this in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I think it was late 80s that we started having all these flipping problems with pests, varroa mites, and you know, the varroa mites, I understand, came from Asia. So did the little slanty-eyed people aerial bomb this whole friggin' country with these pests? Because we were at the top of our game back in those early days, making honey. Nobody could kick our ass back in the day, and they were just they had honey. We had Brazil. They had honey. We didn't have these pests. We got small hive beetles, we got varroas, we got tracheal mites. We had a little bit of foul brood disease way back, but we were always using that terramycin. I don't even know if anybody uses terramycin anymore. We'd use terramycin, a pack of it, to I don't know how many, 1 pack of terramycin to so many boxes of powdered sugar. I don't remember it's been that long, I don't remember the ratios. Any of you guys out there still remember that stuff or still know people using that? Let me know. But everybody got puckered up for the simple fact we're putting antibiotics in the honey, getting into the honey and this and that. And it's going to cause issues. I don't know. We never seemed to have issues back in the day, but it's a whole different day now. Everything's more regulated and everything, but yeah, we did all this shenanigans with Swedish dishcloths soaked in a glycerin and oxalic acid stuff. What is it? Randy Oliver is the one that I guess came up with this. He's run heavy-duty studies on the Swedish scrubbing pads with the product in it, oxalic acid and glycerin mix. And it's an extended thing. It sounds cool to me. I don't think you're going to contaminate anything with it, because there is oxalic acid, from what I understand, in honey and vegetables and this and that. So tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I understand you can leave these sheets on even during a honey flow. Let me know if that's kosher. Because like I say, I'm still learning. I probably should get a hold of Randy Oliver. Any of you commercial guys, please jump in there and Steve-O, no, yes you can. Steve-O, no you can't. Let me know. I want the straight skinny. I don't want a lot of BS. I don't have time for BS. We got bees to work. We got honey to make. I got boxes to build. We got no time for BS, okay? There's no time for it. So, yeah, it's, I'm going to turn the fan on. It's getting hot as Hades already in this barn. So, I'm out here getting ready to cook me up some Swedish towels soaked in the product over here, oxalic acid and glycerin. Fixing to do that. So we're going to get that project knocked out. yeah, we're going to get that project knocked out today. And when I'm going to install those, I don't know yet. I got to talk to a couple people, some professional people like Rick Sutton and Martin. I got to talk to these professionals and see when I can put these not Swiffer sheets, but Swedish towels in. Can I leave them in? When can I throw them in, you know? When I get a heavy infestation of Varroa, or can I throw them in now as a preventative, contraceptive thing, you know? I don't know. We'll put a little condom on this whole operation, right? So we're safe. How did I get into that now? Oh well. It just happens, I guess. Okay, I guess that's about it for the cart. I think we've finally got this cart fine-tuned. We've gone through like, I don't know, so that's about the 6th or 7th thumb control bracket we've gone through. We've gone through 2 control boxes, and the reason he did that because he didn't get the curvature of that strap. That strap's on a bow. Just like this bottom one down there is on a bow diddly. So we got that worked out. So it was 2 boxes designed there, and they're like 6th or 7th. I think this is the 6th or 7th thumb control bracket we've come up with, or he came up with. I didn't come up with none of this stuff. My son did. All I did was throw out the idea to my son, and he crunched all the numbers and crunched all the parts to buy, which we have done. So the cart, as far as I'm concerned, is done. Unless it breaks, something fails on the cart. I've run this cart all over the place, and what's the beauty of it is I can assemble a bunch of boxes in here, throw them on this cart, and zip out to the back with this cart. I can even come off this landing. There's about a 3-4 inch drop. I can come right off of that drop, hit the ground, and shoot it right back to my staging pile out back where I keep everything. So anyway, this is working out good here. Like I said, I need to build this product today. I went to Salvation Army yesterday. I need to cook up this material, and here's what I found. This is a metal pot. A lot of guys cooking this stuff up in glass. I couldn't find a Pyrex that I wanted that was decent price. This happens to be, let me show you guys the name of this thing. Maybe you guys out there know what this thing is, but it feels like is CIRCULON is the product, manufactured in Thailand. It's a 2.5 quart. This is what I'm going to use to cook up my ox acid, and then we're going to pour it into a Ziploc with all those Swedish towels in there. I liked it because it's got a handle here. I'm going to warm this up on a turkey cooker. This thing was probably beat out from an old Ford bumper, my guess is. Yeah, these people, these little slanty eyes, they can take something and turn it into something else really fast. It's Mayer, and the outfit is M-E-Y-E-R, Mayer is the trademark on it. You guys let me know, but you tap on it, it sounds like I'm beating on a Ford bumper. And I'm probably not that far off either. It probably is an old Ford bumper. But here's the sheets here. Here's the sheets here, and this is what I'm using here. There it is. Moleskine Swedish dishcloths. They came in a 10-pack, and I cut them in half. So this is what you're going to end up with, 20 of these sheets. But you're going to put in two per colony. So what I've got here, I've got a gallon zip here. I'm gonna load all these towels into it, and I'm gonna open up this gallon zip and put a clamp here. I don't know if I got enough room to come clear over or not. Not really, not really. But I'll clamp it on one side and create an opening once I get this product up to speed here. And then I'll pour it inside of it. And what I've got here is a candy thermometer with dust all over it. And you do not, from what they tell me, you do not want to exceed 170 degrees. So we'll be monitoring our product with this candy thermometer. And when it gets up to 160, shut the power off on that thing and pour it into your thing. I wouldn't get to 170. 160 is probably God's plenty. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. I hope all is well in your world. It is well in my world. This whole stroke situation's coming around. I still have a little fatigue issue, but I'm getting stronger every day. I think it's because of my carnivore diet. I really do. When I was in the hospital, all they wanted to do is put you on a sugar diet. Totally inflammatory diet, and yeah, it's just totally insane. I've discovered with this whole deal, with me getting this stroke and all, I've come to the realization how corrupt and screwed up our medical system is. It really is screwed up. And that's no joke. I mean, they play a good game, they talk a good game, but the whole thing is set up, I feel, to make you fat and sick, okay? Because what they're doing is putting you on a high sugar diet with grains, processed stuff, these seed oils, all this garbage. We are not, as human beings, aren't designed for it. Just like a honeybee, the honeybee colony, you just can't throw slabs of red meat on top of that box. No, they're going to just get sick and die. They're not going to eat red meat, okay? Human beings are designed to eat that. I was at the gym there the other day. It was funny. And it was one of the little hotshot girls in there. Her and her buddy, they're in there pumping iron like crazy. They're in good shape. We got to talking about, she knew about my stroke. How you feeling? How you doing? I said, I'm doing good, pretty good. I'm coming along good and getting my strength back. I said, I'm still a little bit weak. But and then somehow diet came up, and I said, I'm a carnivore. She says, well, and this is the lie that they keep preaching, and people just keep absorbing it and regurgitating the same BS, okay? She says, well, she said, I don't know about that. She says, a high protein, fatty red meat diet is really, really hard on the kidneys. I said, really? I'll be darned. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I learned something new every day. I said, I sure appreciate that info. That is such BS, guys. And they just keep repeating it. And just like these little gym rats in there, they absorb it. I don't know. I don't know what they're eating. I really don't know. But she said, lower sugar. She did agree with that. Yeah, lower sugar is a good thing. But that high protein, no, it's just hard on the kidneys. Can you believe it, guys? Can you friggin' believe it? Here we've been basically, carnivores our whole lives, going back millions of years, evolving, killing woolly mammoths and bison and oh my God, all of our Plains Indian ancestors, mine included, they were buffalo hunters with their spears and bow and arrows. They lived on fatty red meat. They survived, and guess what they were, guys? They were badass sons of bitches, badass. And the white men, of course, came in and started slaughtering them and giving them diseases. But before that, they were doing hunky-dory. They fought amongst themselves, trading and stealing horses back and women back and forth. You know how it goes. Yeah, they're still doing it to this day. We're still stealing women and yeah, but we ran out of buffaloes. Okay, but anyway, you get my drift of what's going on. The big farm. I just decided it's just a complete scam they're running. Big pharma scam. They want you fat and they want you sick. So, and I'm guilty of this. I am guilty of this with the sugar addiction. Sometimes I go in here, and Miss Daisy teases me too. She'll buy that one ice cream. I forget the name of it. It is just that stuff. It starts with D. I forget the name of it, but she's got one there. It's chocolate peanut butter, and oh my God. You start eating that, guys, and you can't stop. You can't stop. You could sit there and eat a whole friggin' gallon of that. I haven't done a gallon, but those cups that are, I don't know, they're like this high. I can eat one of those whole cups. And then when I get done, I'm going, oh, really? Dumbass? And then I'm good for a few days, but then the cravings come back. I have been eating a little fruit. I got a bunch of pineapple coming in here soon, and I usually enjoy that. I harvest it, I cut it in chunks, I put it in the fridge, and then I consume them slowly. I don't eat my pineapples aren't that big anyway. I could sit and eat a whole pineapple, but usually I stretch it out over 2 days on the pineapples. And that supposedly has some anti-inflammatory properties to pineapple. I'm not really sure. I may be making this up, but that's what I've heard. So pineapple may be a good thing, but it's sugar. There's a lot of sugar in that. So, and really our body makes sugar. I've got a primary care physician that tells me, I told him what I was doing. He said, well, what do you eat? What do you do? You know, you look like you're in fairly good shape. I said, well, I try to be. What do you eat? And he had an assistant there. I said, I'm a carnivore. And he goes, what? And they're both start giggling a little bit, like I've totally lost my freaking mind. They said, where do you come up with that? Where do you come? He said, my primary said, the body has to have sugar. I said, no kidding. You want me to start drinking Coca-Colas or what do you want? Well, the body needs sugar. It runs on sugar. Your body will make its own sugar, guys. You don't need to add buckets of sugar and Coca-Colas and all this other nonsense. Snicker bars, of all things. What they're preaching is totally insanity. Okay, but I used to get pissed. I don't anymore. I just start giggling. I just start laughing at them. And after a while, they're probably thinking, my patient thinks I'm a complete idiot. But Big Pharma tells me I'm on the right page, so I'm good to go. That's the way it's going these days, guys. I'm sorry. Truth hurts. If you can't handle the truth, please change channels. Don't come over here to Steve-O's. And if you're a left-wing nut job, please don't come over to Steve-O's channels. You're not going to like it over here because I don't like you left-wing people at all. None. So don't come over to Steve-O's side, okay? Hey, I'm going to see you guys real soon. Let's get out here and make some honey. Let's make some bees, make some honey, and let's make some money. Because we are in 2025, and in 2026, I want to be really up to speed. Hopefully a hurricane doesn't knock me off the map. If I see a hurricane coming, I got all the bees now. Well, there's only 5 out there. But I'm going to be splitting like a wild man all summer long, as making as many as I can. I'm going to try to buy some queens too from Matthew back. If he can get up and running, but he's way down on bees too. He lost 300 colonies at last year's hurricanes. Very, very depressing. Oh, but he's a worker. I mean, the guy's a worker. Nothing's going to slow him down. And if you're going to be a beekeeper, that's the attitude you have to have. I mean, There's nothing, just say there's nothing going to stop me. I'm moving forward. You guys move forward. I'm going to move forward. See you real soon on the next one. Be happy, be strong. We're going to keep getting it on. See ya.